Good evening, everyone. Today is Thursday, November 20th, 2025, and this is a meeting of the Milford School Committee. We're going to start with the student representative update.
Hi. I would like to start with some positives that we've had over the past few months. So term 1 ended a few weeks ago. Now we're in term 2 already. Last time we talked a little bit about the end of October. We had Spirit Week, Pep Rally, Homecoming. All of those were very successful. And actually, our homecoming had a really high attendance and profits higher than we've seen in recent years. And now Student Council is working on our annual holiday can drive. So each grade competes in a little competition on which grade can donate the most cans and boxed goods. And then the class that wins gets a nice little prize for their class council. Last year, I think we donated over 2,000 canned goods, so we're hoping to see something similar this year. The music department had a very successful chorus vertical concert, so that's all the grades, starting from 3rd grade, I believe. And the next big concert is the winter concert on December 16th, 7 p.m. in the auditorium if you want to come check us out. We also had Central District auditions last weekend, and many of our performers were accepted into small performance groups, which is a really great achievement. As for sports, fall sports are all wrapped up, and probably the biggest highlight from this fall season was that our girls soccer team made playoffs for the first time in 13 years, and they won a playoff game. But now we're looking ahead to the winter season, which starts right when we get back from Thanksgiving, pretty much. And then lastly, I would just like to follow up on some of those technology issues we talked about last time, specifically the Wi-Fi issues. Those have all been resolved, so we haven't had any issues recently in class with the guest Wi-Fi and anything. So that's pretty much all I have.
Awesome. Any questions or comments?
Great update.
Nothing.
I was going to say, I'm very happy about the girls' soccer team. They did great. Nashawai, I watch them all. I like watching them play. And then of course your freshman Anella. I know she's probably listening. Great job. Great first season. Second in the Hockomock in assists. Nashawai second in the Hockomock in goals scored. Amazing.
Some big highlights for us this year, yeah.
I would second that. Very entertaining games.
Yeah.
I ended up at the last 3, but my daughters were all about coming.
Oh, nice.
And they were
fun.
they don't watch any sports, but they sat there and just locked in the whole game. So
It was a great season
Very
for
entertaining.
us, yeah.
One question: who won the trunk or treat car competition?
Oh my goodness. It wasn't my car. I think it was
Rigged. It was rigged.
Not me.
Yeah.
I think it was the brass section of the band. So I think my car was second. A little bitter about that, but
Well, sorry, you got second.
very good. Anything else? All right. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can skip invitation to speak as no one is here for that. Announcements, correspondence, and distribution. Anybody have anything to hand out there?
I have an announcement.
Please.
If you notice, we have some new updated art here. So a select group of 4th graders from Miss Delaney's art room at Woodland Elementary School used the 8 studio habits of mind to collaborate on this beautiful landscape, which includes sea creatures, mountain trolls, and leprechauns. Evan Santamena, Kyle Cunningham, Amanda Diaz, and Nicholas Martins developed their craft using many art materials that included paint sticks, collages, colored pencils, and markers. Our student artists created a collaborative piece by envisioning how their ideas might work together and discussed how to bring these design ideas into the final project. This working group engaged in a lot of conversation about color and theme and persisted when they ran into creative differences in opinion. I am proud to showcase this collaborative work as a prime example of how Woodland artists creatively think, problem solve, and reflect in the art classroom. So a new update for us in our TRC.
Awesome. Anything else? No? All right. Thank you. We'll move to the general chairperson update. The only update I really have about the MSBA project is last week the designer RFS was finalized, so now I believe we're moving towards the process of procurement on that. That sound
Correct,
right?
yeah. The RFS should have been posted on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we'll do a kind of a walkthrough with anybody that is interested in submitting RFS, and then we're looking at the RFS being returned on December 17th.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That'll bring us to the superintendent disclosure Unit A negotiations. You want to just explain this one, Craig?
Sure. This requires a vote. I sought advice from our attorney, Felicia, I don't even know how to say her last name, Vasudevin, I think that's how you say it, Vasudevin. And she wrote an opinion, and then it was run through the Ethics Commission. The Ethics Commission agreed with her opinion that I will be able to be a part of the negotiations on the teacher's contract, provided we do this step, which is I fill out this form. It's a disclosure by non-elected municipal employee of financial interest and determination. And let me explain what my disclosure is. My wife's a school psychologist at Stacy Middle School. She's part of the teachers union. She would have a financial interest in collective bargaining, which would impact on her financial condition through her pay, fringe benefits, vacation and sick leave, as well as other issues with an economic component affecting her. Other particular matters to consider include direct supervision, recommending or approving of any personnel matter, evaluation, promotion, step rate, salary determination, or other terms and conditions of employment in which my wife has a financial interest. I would be part of the negotiating team, and I would be making recommendations to the school committee. The school committee, you all are the ones that are actually signing the document and saying yes or whatever. So I need to disclose it. You need to vote and say it's fine that I participate, and then Matt would sign it, sign this form, and then we turn it in, I guess. Or actually, no, we keep it on file.
We have to keep it on file, yeah.
Yeah. So I think you all got all the documentation. You got the opinion that the attorney wrote. You got the opinion of the Ethics Commission. So now it's just up to you to vote.
Any questions for Craig or concerns you want to share?
Just say thanks for getting it done in a timely manner, so we're not
Yeah.
rushing to get it done.
Yeah,
in
way
advance,
ahead of
so.
it, yeah.
Is there a motion to accept this disclosure and allow him to participate?
So moved.
Motion by Michael, second by Derek. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. We will get this filled
Thank
out
you.
and signed. All right. On to the report of the superintendent of schools.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I just wanted to provide a brief update on where we are with the Stacy HVAC project. We sought the advice of our current OPM for the high school project, who is also the OPM on our Woodland project, on moving forward. When we thought about, okay, we're gonna do this project, we should have an OPM, and we sort of asked them, should we do an RFS for this, knowing that that this is the first phase of the project, and he explained that there's a couple different ways that we could do it. He provided an example, I believe it was from Falmouth, where we could create an RFS for on-call project managers, basically up to 4 on-call project managers that we could just call on at any time. We wouldn't have to put an RFS out anymore to be the project manager for any of these projects that we want to do. You have it here in front of you. We just actually put that out in the Central Register, I think it was yesterday, right? Or was it last week? It was yesterday, I think, right?
We put on last week effective.
This week.
Wednesday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
So that's where we are for the OPM. And basically, we're asking people to just bid on being our on-call project managers. Again, we'll have 4 of them on call. We may not use, we may only use one. We may, use more than one for different projects. But we'd be able to call on them to manage the project for us, kind of like a clerk of the works, to make sure that we're not overspending the money and they're just keeping an eye on all of that, all the bills and everything else. So that's out right now. Do you have the numbers in front of you? What we have?
How many bids we received so far?
So far for that one?
On OPM, we have 19.
19.
They're
So
still coming.
Yeah.
And the architect is 33. And we also simultaneously we posted the high school designer bid, and we received
That's
34.
Yeah, that's the one you just talked about.
Yeah.
All right, so the second part of it is the on-call architectural services. It's the same, basically the same thing, that we would have 4 on-call architects at our disposal that we could go through for any of the projects that wouldn't be the high school project, but any of these other projects that we're doing for the design phase of any of these things. So that's the way we're moving forward with this. Once we have the OPM, we'll put together basically our HVAC committee, and then we'll just start moving forward with it. So where it looks like around the beginning of January, we'll be complete with our list of OPMs. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like sometime in the middle of January, we'll be done. I don't know if anybody has questions, concerns about that.
No.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. On to the report of the interim assistant superintendent for teaching and learning.
Great. So tonight I thought I would give you an update on our work around collective efficacy. Collective efficacy is one of our 3 district priorities this year. It's really the idea that all staff members believe that we're capable of positively impacting student outcomes. And what we're really working to build is a culture of collaboration, shared leadership, and professional trust. And so we have to think about not just our staff members and our teachers and the staff that are working at the schools, but also our leadership team. So how are we doing this with our leadership team is really what I want to talk to you tonight about. I have 4 different kind of structures and systems that we have in place to hopefully work towards building our collective efficacy in different teams that we have at the leadership level here at Milford Public Schools. So the first is this year we created what we're calling a teaching and learning cabinet. That teaching and learning cabinet is really district level leadership teams that have leadership members that have something to do with teaching and learning. So on that cabinet sits the curriculum supervisor of literacy, our multilingual learner and dual language director and assistant director, our special education director and assistant director, our SEL director, a director of communications technologies and grants, and then the superintendent and myself is the one that facilitates that. So we meet monthly, and really what we're working on talking about is what's happening in the teaching and learning world across our district. What are the different departments working on, and how can we really collaborate together to move different initiatives forward? We started the school year by looking at our 3 key district priorities and really naming what were we going to do at the district leadership level that was different this year to work towards those 3 key district priorities, and what would be the expected outcomes as a result of kind of those different moves that we were going to make. It's helping us create common language and also just knowledge of what the different departments is working on, so that we are not pulling different building leaders and building staff in 5,000 different directions, because we're all kind of running our different initiatives. So it's helping to create common language and just common understanding and communication, which is a huge part of collective efficacy as we build professional trust and collaboration. The other cabinet that we started this year is called the Operations Cabinet, and this one is facilitated by Dr. Consigli on a monthly basis. And this pulls together kind of everybody that helps the district run on a day-to-day basis. So the transportation director, the director of communications technology and grants, our multilingual learner and dual language director, as she oversees our Family Resource Center. Our facilities director, food services, athletics, nursing, community use, and school business administrator. And that meeting is really right now around like, what is everybody doing and how can we collaborate across these different departments? When you think about some of these departments, they're kind of silos, but really how can we come together and understand each other's roles and responsibilities and create shared leadership and some shared understanding so that we're building towards more efficient systems and structures in place in terms of the operations in our school buildings. We then have what we call strategery meetings, and these were really started last year. They're between building leadership at a particular building and the teaching and learning cabinet. We meet bi-monthly, so every other month, and the purpose of those meetings is really to give the principals and the building leadership some like face time with district leadership and have one big conversation instead of asking principals and building leadership to meet with the different departments at the district level in a lot of different meetings. And so we are really working on collaboration, and so they have the ear of district leadership for every other month where we really get to talk about what's happening in their buildings. I work with the principal to make sure that we have at least one of the 3 key district priorities on the agenda to make sure that we're really staying focused on those district priorities as we think about what's working in buildings, what's not working, and what are some of the challenges or obstacles that they may be facing that we can help them problem solve through. So, for example, today we had our memorial meeting. We started by sharing the good news. We looked at some student attendance and chronic absenteeism and really generated different ideas on how the Memorial Administration can start to build stronger school and family partnerships to help students get to school. We talked a little bit about student behavior. We celebrated the fact that they had whole school assemblies for the first time really since COVID, where they pulled together different grade levels. And one of the things that they were excited to share was that they brought back the memorial song, which really was a boost of morale and some Milford pride. And then we talked about budget moving forward and what we can kind of expect them to submit for the budget season that's coming up. I think it's really important that building leadership has a time to talk specifically about their building with district leadership, and really for district leadership to understand what's happening at the different buildings so that when we think about what's happening across our schools, we have a bigger lens of how to kind of pull everybody together and what different buildings are kind of facing in celebrations as well. And the last one I'll talk about in terms of building towards collective efficacy is our monthly full leadership team meetings. So we alternate these meetings. Sometimes these meetings are with the principals and the district leaders, and then the other month we pull in our assistant principals. And really there it's around some learnings. We always talk about literacy there. We always make sure that that's something that we are constantly coming back to so that everybody kind of knows what's going on with both the exponential learning adoption at the K-5 level, but also just what some of the current research is in literacy across the board. One of the things that we joke a little bit about, but is really important, is we have a norm around sharing the undiscussables, and it being really an important space to everybody to be comfortable to share what's happening or not working, or that elephant in the room. And I really believe that that's what's going to push us towards the culture of collaboration, the shared leadership, and the professional trust that we're really working to build towards. So the point of me kind of sharing this is for you to know that like we are working specifically towards these 3 different key district priorities, but these 3 key district priorities are also about the leadership level and how do we do things differently to meet these needs and these priorities as we move forward. So, that's all I got. Any questions?
No?
Yes. How long are these meetings typically? It's a lot of meetings.
So the
It's a lot of
teaching,
meetings.
it is a lot of meetings. They're monthly meetings. So teaching and learning and operations is 2 hours, an hour, 2 hours, 2 hours on a monthly basis. Strategery is an hour and a half every other month for the schools.
6 schools.
And it's for 6 schools, so it's 3 schools a month. And then
Strategery.
That's a good one.
that's the strategery. And then the full leadership is 2 hours.
No, the principal full leadership is 2 hours when it's during the day. At the night one, it's an hour and 15 or something.
But for a principal, like for a Memorial Elementary School principal, right, because that's the one I shared, like
they will be part of, every other month they'll have a strategery meeting, and then once a month they'll have a full leadership meeting.
Okay.
So the time that we're asking building leadership to meet is not any more than we were in the past.
Okay.
The new cabinets are really a way for the district leadership teams to come together in a way that we haven't necessarily come together in the
Right.
past.
Right.
And I think it's important for all the different departments that are pushing on teachers and pulling on teachers for different adoptions or different shifts and initiatives to know what the other person is asking for, so that we're not asking the same group of teachers to consistently shift and change and adopt and think about something different.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we can go on now to the report of the school business administrator.
We just continue to monitor the budget since last report, and I don't have anything special to report in this meeting. Just attach the budget report and the personnel update for your reference.
Anybody have any questions on the budget update?
Not this
Thank you.
time.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to the consent agenda. So we do have minutes from last meeting. Does anybody have any edits or comments on the minutes? All right, so the consent agenda tonight is going to consist of the following: the approval of 11 warrants, the amount of $692,894.92, the approval of minutes from the November 6, 2025 meeting, professional development, the amount of $2,001, gifts, there's 5 totaling $10,950, and then there are 3 grants that came in at $145,089. Is there a motion?
I will motion to approve the consent.
Motion by Brendan, second by Chris. All in favor? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chair, do you want to go over those gifts?
I will, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to be a little more specific because there were some very nice gifts in here. So I will grab the first one. There's a $350 donation to Ben's Challenge MHS. That comes from Kate Toman and Chris and Lisa Burns. We have $2,000 to the Stacy Middle School Rally, R-A-L-I-E. That's from the Combined Jewish Philanthropies. We have $500 from Dario Palumbo for the MHS Italian program. Trying to mix these up as I go. We have $4,600 to the MHS French program from Villa Albertine, the French Institute for Culture and Education. And finally, we have $3,500 for the Prevoke Skills Garden Improvements, and that is from the Milford Foundation. So there's some big, generous donations, so I want to thank everybody on that list for participating in helping these different programs out. All right, subcommittee updates. There might have been a policy meeting.
Yeah, we had a policy meeting tonight. We went through administering medication to students in the schools, specifically Narcan. So next meeting, we'll be voting on that. The school nurse will send out information to everybody well ahead of time for that. We talked about competency determination and graduation requirements, which is going to be a moving target for the next few years. I won't steal Craig's thunder on that one, but that's coming down the line for next month pretty quickly. And then we started to game out fundraising, and we will talk about that at a later date.
It's a large conversation.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts?
That was it.
Sorry.
Labor and management. So you guys are good with policy? Sorry,
Yeah.
make sure.
Are you good?
Sorry. Yeah. Labor and management, we met yesterday. A lot of just more, I'd say, more operational concerns. There are a few things I think, or at least one thing I felt like would have a budget impact. But mainly just, Shining Star had some playground concerns, just some things that need to be fixed up. Memorial has, still dealing with some heating inconsistencies, and the other one would be some ice on premise. So certainly something, again, more on the operational side to get ahead of some critters that are looking for a warm space. And then also substitutes, and that was also what Brookside had talked about, is just the need for substitutes. Woodland, just some concerns about just trying to improve communication throughout the school. Stacy, again, inconsistent heating in the school. I was actually had the opportunity to be there today for a little presentation, and it was one of the classrooms I was in was pretty warm, and I've heard that it's inconsistent where some classrooms you're shorts and a t-shirt, and others you're in with a winter coat. So, and there was no representative from MHS. So, but overall, just want to go back in regards to the substitutes, and it's just a growing problem. You hear about it throughout Massachusetts in general. So just more maybe looking towards the budget subcommittee that, how do we get ahead of the need for substitutes? And you're hearing the teaching and staff saying as the main classroom teacher is out, then they start just pulling resources from different areas, and it just has that cascading effect. And certainly heard it from a lot from from Memorial and Brookside schools. So again, I think that's going to have a budgetary impact that we need to consider, or potential.
Anything else? All right. Future agenda items. Anybody have anything to add to the list?
I have one.
Yeah.
All right, and kind of a little bit more in hearing from teachers and all that. So there'll probably be more to this, but review policy and mass law regarding student discipline. And without getting too far down, just I feel like as we're getting into negotiation season too, I think it's going to be just good for all of us to understand what are our policies regarding student discipline, and what are also the Mass General laws regarding student discipline, and just to get us up to speed on that.
We'll send that to you.
When you say review policy,
Is
is
there
a
a purpose?
policy discussion, or do you want?
I don't want to get too far down. I think that it would be in our best interest to review it and talk about it and to understand it.
We can send it to you.
Yeah.
And then we can, if we
Yeah.
want to review it
Yeah.
next meeting, we can do
Yeah,
that.
it's a future agenda, so I don't want to, again, get too
Yeah.
far down the road
That works.
of why.
Sure,
So
that works. We can do that next
I
meeting.
just think, again, it'd be good education.
Anything else? Okay. Well, that brings us to adjournment. So I guess we're done. We do not have any executive session, so I just need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Megan, second by Derek. All in favor? Unanimous. Good night.